Hello, I'm Mary Wynne with Fusion Learning Partners, and joining me here today are Allan Shark of CompTIA's Public Technology Institute and Jason Huber, CGCIO and IT Director for the City of St. Louis Park in Minnesota. Allan and Jason are here to share more insights into the Certified Government CIO program and the companion Certified Government Technology Leadership Program, certification programs designed for technology executives as well as those who aspire to be technology leaders in government. And Fusion Learning Partners is so proud to be partnering with CompTIA and Rutgers University to sponsor the first ever Midwest cohort of this nationally recognized program. Now, the Midwest program starts on September 22nd, so the timing is really great to have this conversation and get more personal insights from both the leader of the program as well as a recent alum. So gentlemen, thanks so much for being here with me today and being willing to share your insights. And Allan, I'm going to start with you. So for those who aren't familiar with the Certified Government CIO program or the Companion Certified Government Technology Leadership Program, give us the quick what and why.
Well, thanks, Mary. First of all, it is an honor for us to be working with you. We're excited to have a Midwest cohort group. So we have a West Coast class, we have an East Coast class. So the missing piece is going to be solved with you all. So working with Fusion Learning Partners is great. We've been doing this for 12 years, and we found that there was a need to further professionalize the profession. I'm going to call it a profession of the Chief Information Officer. And we use that kind of loosely. Not everyone has that title. They could be a director of technology, director of MIS, but whoever heads technology is what this program is aimed at. There are only 4 kind of university nonprofits that offer this in the country, and only 2 of them offer a national footprint, and we are one of those. We're the only one that offers the certification technology leadership. So it's a very vigorous program, mindful of the fact that just about everybody who goes through it are full-time employees too, so that we spread the workload over a full year. And we find that most people, unless there's a major emergency in their lives, are able to complete all the things that are required in this many moving parts, which I'm happy to explain. But one thing to keep in mind, when we look at those who've come through the program, 1/3 are CIOs, and 1/3 are those who are in senior tech management, and 1/3 are other. And we were curious about that other. Some could be through K through 12, and we're the only program in the US that also offers vendors the opportunity to be part of the program. And hence, not everyone wants to be a certified government CIO, regardless of title. We wanted to give them the option. So it really is one program and the same. You can also choose to be a certified in government technology leadership. And what's really cool, later on, you can make a switch if you find that you left government. So it's a very interesting, flexible program.
Nice. And Allan, how many over the years, and let us know how long this program's been going on too, but how many over the years technology leaders have become certified? And you've mentioned already the kinds of positions, but what kinds of agencies do you see these folks working for?
I looked back at this, and we have over 250 graduates. Wow. Over an 11-year period of time. And there is no one trend. It's everywhere. We have folks from large cities like Philadelphia and Dallas and Alameda County. It's an equal mix between cities and counties. We find that some of them are one-person operations, like one person running the entire show, or 2-person operations, or some who lead, a staff of 100. So it's very interesting. It's a very, very interesting mix. And as I mentioned earlier, we even have some folks from K through 12. We have found that they have more in common than anyone would have thought. So it's an interesting, eclectic group of individuals.
That's fantastic. And Jason, as one of the many alums of this program, what drew you to the program, and what was your experience like?
It was a great experience. I think Allan touched on it a little bit. It's very doable. A lot of us have full-time jobs. It looks like don't get me wrong, you're gonna have to do your work, but it's very, very doable. And I would also say, Allan's direction and the books are great, but you do learn a lot from the other cohorts that you are in the group with. It really is a group learning experience. My cohort was out in the West, and I had people from huge agencies, and we did have one gentleman that was from an agency with only 1 or 2 people. So it was a good mix to learn what is going on in those other agencies.
That's fantastic. And in terms of your personal learning, Jason, and your professional development, what were some of the biggest takeaways for you?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway for me is I came up as a programmer and as a network analyst, doing the work. So there's a whole bunch of different disciplines that I didn't do on a daily basis, right? So you learn those pieces, you learn all those different pieces and those items that really help round out your move into leadership and management.
Oh, fantastic. And Allan, as the chief sort of architect and instructor of this program, what personally excites and motivates you, every time a cohort is starting?
Let me set the stage for that answer. I also teach at a university, and I far prefer the certification. And the reason is we do ask for prior experience. Students in my master level courses may not have anything. They've gone up through the ranks of academia and have nothing much to bring back. I mean, they're like sponges. They want to learn. And as Jason alluded to, he brings experience into the class. And if we have a class of 12 or 20, every one of them has a story to tell. So what excites me is listening to the experiences, listening to how they've solved problems. And in some cases, it gets pretty emotional. We have a rule, what's said in our class stays in our class. And very often we feel like this is the CIO couch, so to speak, where it's therapeutic when people say, I thought I was crazy. I thought I was the only one facing this issue. And now I realize I'm not alone. This was worth everything. So it is sharing of experiences. The cohort, the one complaint we have is, how do we keep this going? So we will be creating some master classes to bring the alum back into some challenging programs. So that's something that we're planning right now. It'll probably be virtual based on what's going on in the world, but eventually we will have kind of a master academy that people can come back.
That's fantastic, because that peer-to-peer learning and being able to go through a program with another group of people is incredible. As somebody who's done that myself, in another discipline, I really appreciate it, that connection. So Jason, one of the things, with any kind of professional development or continuing education program that people always want to know is, okay, what's in it for me? Like, how is this really going to help me in my day-to-day, right? So tell us about how you feel like you have continued to use the information that you learned in this program in your daily job, but also in your sort of career trajectory.
Yeah, I think everything I learned applies right to my job. I mean, to stuff I do every day. Anything from, HR and IT, that mix. Anything from strategic planning, smart cities. We covered a whole gamut of different disciplines throughout this, and they all apply. I've run into every one of them. I'm with a smaller organization of, a city of 50,000, but we still have full-time police and, dispatch and fire and all different divisions. So it's not very different than, a larger organization. Of course, they have more employees and more equipment, but we're still dealing with the same issues, same problems. And again, the course gives you a great feel for policy and procedures and strategic planning and those kind of items that maybe you spend a lot more time just working in Active Directory or working on, the technical side of it. This gives you that whole other side that is really important.
Right. Fantastic.
And I think the only thing I'd add for me too is, people might be worried about the capstone, but I thought the capstone was a great opportunity to grab an issue or a project that you've wanted to work on for a while.
Sure.
I don't want to say excuse, but this gives you a good reason to work on that project and bring it back to your organization.
Jason, can you talk a little bit more about the capstone since you brought it up, and like, what is it? And then what was your capstone project?
Sure. I went through 5 years ago, and my capstone was on BYOD versus city issued devices. So, and we actually used my study to kind of make the decision to only have city issued devices. So we actually brought that back and used all my work to make that decision.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's great value add for your city, right? That you were able to use that information to help them at the city council level make that kind of decision. And Allan, I want to kind of touch on that or go further with that, because I think, you know, sometimes it's hard to convince a supervisor or, you know, whoever is holding the purse strings in the city or the county government. So what would you say to those folks who are looking at this, but not quite sure if, you know, it's worth it? What would you say about the value of the program and sort of the top 3 or 5 elements that really make this a worthwhile investment for a city or a county or any agency?
Well, I come back to the individual. You know, it's really an investment in your profession and your career. It's a way to enhance your position within your own organization. In today's world, you know, we are our own free agents. You know, the days that we're going to be in one place for 20 years is no longer valid. Being a free agent means we have to build our brand. And having the CGC, and we encourage, you know, put this designation after your signature line, that this is a profession. And if someone's not aware of it, although more and more are, then you have an opportunity to explain it. So for the city or county, the explanation would be, this helps me become a better manager. Because as Jason alluded to, you know, there are many great technology schools, even CompTIA has great, you know, the technology certifications, but our focus is on leadership and governance. How do we manage all this stuff? That should be of great value to any organization. But the other thing that's interesting is we found that 1/3 of our students, actually 1/2 of our students now, are paying for this program out of their own pocket. It's one of the more reasonable programs out there. I mean, you're getting an incredible degree almost. I mean, it looks like a master's level diploma. It's got CompTIA, PTI, and Rutgers Center for Government Services on it. So it does carry weight. We're now seeing job descriptions offered by cities and counties saying CGCIO preferred.
Wow.
So the word is getting out, and
Wow.
I think it has value both from a point of view of self-worth and worthy of the organization to invest in people. When you look at what Jason and others are managing, the portfolios by the numbers and by its importance, you've got to invest in people. Technology is nothing more than a set of tools. My big mantra is government has to invest in people. We have to continually learn. And this is not a college degree program where you end and there's no expectation to go further. Any qualified certification, a CPA, airline pilot, doctor, lawyer, has to be recertified. And this program has that requirement as well. So it is a true professional certification, and it does have value.
And so important, especially today, as things are just getting more and more complex with the pandemic, with all kinds of other issues. Leadership, that leadership component is more critical than ever. So, and Jason, I'm going to let you have the last word. So this is sort of your plug, right? Why should somebody become certified government CIO or certified in the government technology leadership program?
I think we've covered a lot of it. I mean, Allan mentioned the value. As far as the cost, it is a great value. The course is very flexible. You know, it's almost all virtual at this point.
Right.
You know, when I went through it, we did meet 3 times in person, which maybe someday we can get back to that, because it is nice to meet with your cohorts, you know, and meet them in person and make that kind of bond, if you will. And I think, you know, it does give you a professional status with your peers, that you've gone through a course, you've taken the time to essentially complete a master's course from Rutgers, if you will, if you want to look at it that way, you know. I think it shows you have a dedication to your craft.
Nice. And Jason, I noticed you are using that CGCIO designation after your name and your signature line. So Allan, you proud of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I am. I'm proud of all of them.
That's awesome. Well, Jason and Allan, I want to thank you again for sharing your time and your thoughts with us. This program is just a fantastic opportunity to support and grow IT leaders. Again, as we were saying, at a critical time in government right now. So again, the Midwest cohort begins September 22nd. Registration is open now. For more details about the program, to find that registration link, please visit fusionlp.org and click on the programs tab in the navigation bar at the top. And you can find out all kinds of information, including another person's email, where if you need to ask more questions, you can do that. So thank you. Let's fill up that Midwest cohort, show the rest of the country that the Midwest has it going on. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.